Okay, so I'm gonna do the draw my life video thing for myself now. Martina's doing hers as well, but hers should come out probably next week. FYI, her pictures are a lot better than mine. She's really awesome at drawing, while I suck at it. All I could really do is stick figures, so bear with me. Okay, so it all began for me back in London, Ontario. My parents and my brother had just moved to Canada from Poland, and they were pretty dirt poor. My mother was a lawyer in Poland, and my dad was the VP of some food technology company or something or other, and both of them had really successful careers back in Poland. But they thought that their life would be better for the kids if they went to Canada. So they gave it all up and came to Canada with next to nothing in hopes that things would be better for us. Soon after they moved to Canada, I was born, January 20th. I was a 10-pound baby. My mom's something like 5'3", and I have no idea how she survived birthing such a godforsaken fat-ass baby. Mad props to you, Mom. Good job. My parents didn't speak any English when they came to Canada, so they spoke to me in Polish, and I spoke with them as well, but I only spoke it like a child. As a result, English is technically my second language, kinda. I learned English with my mom as we watched Sesame Street together. I stopped learning Polish though when I started going to school, since everyone in school spoke English. Now I can still speak Polish, but I speak it kind of like a kid, and I also swear a lot without knowing it. I learned that from my dad's angry driving. He has come up with a lot of combinations of words to make phrases that should be banned from the presence of anyone under 24 years old. That could be why I swear so much in English, though I try to keep it clean for these videos. Fuck. Anyhow, we spent a bit of time in London, Ontario together, but things weren't easy for us. My parents were not lawyers and vice presidents in Canada. My dad had to deliver pizzas, and my mom cleaned motels. Though I wasn't aware of the sacrifice I made for the kids at the time because I was just a baby and barely aware of anything at the time, I truly appreciate how hard they worked for us now, and I wish that I could repay them somehow. I love you, Mom and Dad. I'll never take you for granted again. Eventually, my parents did find jobs that they could use their degrees in, and we moved out of London to Toronto, right around Nextdale for a few months, and then we moved to Pickering into a house that was haunted. I'm not joking. My mom had a friend come over to visit from Poland, and she just died. She was healthy and she just got a case of death. We taped off the room that she died in, and then we called a priest to bless the house, and the kitchen caught on freaking fire. Fortunately for us, we didn't do the thing that stupid white people do in horror movies when they try to investigate the history of the house and wind up dying as a result. We were like, "F that shit, we getting out of here!" We moved to a different house in Pickering. My parents have been living there ever since. I have two siblings. I have a brother who's 13 years older than me and a sister who's 10 years older than me. Both of them are technically my half-siblings since they are each from my parents' previous marriages. But I don't think of them as half-siblings. They're my only brother and my only sister. There are no halvesies there. They're my full brother and my full sister. I love them. I grew up pretty much hero worshipping my brother. He was a phenomenal basketball player, and I learned how to play just because of him. Even though I wasn't into it, I just wanted to do it because my brother did it. And as a result, I became pretty phenomenal at basketball myself. I never got to his level because I never really played organized basketball, only street ball, son. But damn, I was really good. Then I got married and I was like, who needs sports? I got me a wife. Time to get fat. I was a really smart kid when I first started school. I remember being in kindergarten and doing so well on some of my Lego buildings that the teacher would take me to the principal's office to show the principal what I made, and I'd be so freaking honored. Teachers of young kids, take note. We remember those things and they change us forever. In fact, I was so good at school and so smart that I skipped a grade. Grade 3. They were just like, nah, you don't need grade 3, move to grade 4. And so I did. It sounded like a good idea at first, but I wound up hating it. It was a terrible decision. The grade 4 kids resented me, and I lost all my friends from the grade that I should have been in. I was pretty much a loner and bullied until grade 5 when I started getting into basketball. And so I started making friends that way. I stopped being a good student because trying hard at school didn't make me happy anymore. Basketball is what got me friends, so I threw myself into that. Anyhow, you might hear me sounding gangster from time to time in my videos and not really sounding all prim and proper like a dorky white guy with glasses should probably talk. I was pretty much the only white guy that I knew growing up. All of my friends were from Jamaica or Trinidad or Nigeria or Detroit, and I got a lot of my expressions and mannerisms from them. I listened to only hip hop and R&B growing up. I walked around with a fake limp. Literally, I walked around with a fake limp and I called it my pimp walk. I had one pant leg rolled up. I had fake gang signs. I even had cornrows for a while. Don't laugh. Really. Don't laugh, I'm quite embarrassed. Anyhow, I made really good friends through basketball, and I hung out with them just about every single day. We played basketball for hours and then go back and play video games and just hang out. Then for the summer of my 16th birthday, I visited Poland to see the family members that I pretty much never see, and my friends knew that I was going. They knew how long I'd be gone for. Also, they knew how long my parents were away from the home when they went to work. And so, during that time, they decided to rob my house. Four of them broke into the house and nobody was home. They took all my stuff. They took my sister's stuff. They took my video games, CDs, DVDs. They took jewelry from my grandfather who died, and they pretty much just trashed the place. They got caught afterwards trying to sell it all at a pawn shop, but let's just say that our friendship ended after that. I never asked any questions. I didn't hold any grudges. I just totally cut that out of my life. I just realized how difficult it is to trust people and to make good friends, and so pretty much from then I didn't make any friends. I decided not to do so. I became a lot more reclusive. I still played basketball a lot, but I realized afterwards I'd never be good enough for the NBA, and at the same time my grades were so terrible at school that I pretty much would barely be able to graduate. So I went to a whole new school for my last year where I didn't know anyone, and I just threw myself into studying. I made no close friends. My only goal was to get my grades up high enough to get into university, and so I did. I somehow squeaked into the University of Toronto, and I consider myself extremely lucky. At U of T, I studied English literature, and I remember going to my first few classes and realizing that every freaking person in the building, pretty much everyone on campus, was smarter than me. They were on scholarships, and they were part of student councils, and they had great grades in high school. I was just a dummy that busted my ass to get good enough grades to be in this university, but I wasn't smart like these people, and so I decided to bust ass in university as well. I'd done all the readings for every class soon after my realization, maybe a month later. I read everything, and from then on I read all the books before the semester started. Before they started. I even actually bought the recommended secondary material, and I read all that too. I was hardcore. For the first 2 years of university, I had a perfect GPA. Per freaking fact. My dream was to be a university professor, and so I knew that I have to get used to studying and reading and writing nonstop. I realized though, after doing this for roughly the first 2 years of university, that I wasn't really happy. I didn't have a girlfriend in 5 years, and I hadn't really spoken much with just about anyone apart from professors, and that was just to suck up to them. I made no friends pretty much since I was 16, and I barely left the house at all since all I wanted to do was study. There also was a problem that I read nothing but sad books. Seriously, English literature doesn't make you read happy books. They're pretty much miserable. They're all about the struggles of different people in different societies and shit like that. It is not uplifting at all. It's crushing. So after 2 years of university and being a damn near hermit, I realized that I wanted to try something different. I wanted to try making friends again. But it wasn't easy at all. I wasn't as sociable as I was when I was 15. Now I was anxious and awkward, and I was really low confident and pretty freaking depressed as a result. Fortunately for me though, I was lucky enough to meet a really cool girl in one of my classes. She was just so pretty, and she had a lip ring, and she had tattoos, and she wore chains on her pants, and she was really funny and smart in class, and she had big boobs. I fell in love with her right away. I even remember the day that I first saw her. It was September 13th, 2004. Her name is Martina. She really changed my life. She got me out of my shell, and she made me laugh. She introduced me to music, and she taught me how to drink coffee, and she introduced me to her friends. She even tried hooking me up with one of her friends. Whoa, was that a bad idea? What the fuck was she thinking? That was such a bad match. Holy shit. Martina had a boyfriend at the time though, but that didn't bother me. I didn't hit on her at all. I respected her relationship, and I even tried helping out when things were rough in her relationship. I was just happy enough to know her and to hang out with her. We studied together for our classes, and we helped each other out for our essays. It was after that failed attempt at hooking me up with her friend though that Martina broke up with her boyfriend, and we started dating. You see that, guys? You can get out of the friend zone. I was there for 6 months, and I got out. We started dating on March 28th, 2005. I proposed to her 1 year afterwards in 2006. And on June 16th, 2007, we got married. Booyah! I even wifed her. You see that? Now she's mine for life. Ha! I still feel like I suckered her into this though, I feel like I tricked her or something. She's seriously the awesomest, most compassionate, sweetest, most light-spirited person I ever met in my entire life, and I feel like I somehow tricked her into marrying me. I don't deserve someone as good as her. I just hope that she doesn't realize this. Oh shit, I should probably not say that in video. Hey, oh, Martina, you didn't see that part, okay? Just move along now. Hey, whoa, what's the Spudgy doing? Go check that out. Back to the story. We moved to Windsor, Ontario to a small 3-story apartment on Wyandotte Street the day after we got married. We went to Teachers College there and we were both flat freaking broke. I had a boatload of student loans. We didn't have anything saved up. We pretty much lived that entire year on our credit cards alone. Our apartment was so old and rickety that I once leaned against the wall and my hand fell through the freaking wall. We wound up covering the hole with a clock and then we left the clock there when we moved out. Oh shit, I probably shouldn't say that in a video. Landlord, you didn't see that, okay? Move along now, hey! While we were in Teachers College, we saw a presentation in teaching in Korea. We loved the idea. I had taught in an after-school program for Korean students while I was in Toronto, and Martina was totally into Japanese and Korean culture, so we figured that'd be a great idea for us to go. We spoke with the presenters afterwards, and a week later, we had jobs to teach in Bucheon. We signed all the papers, we finished up our teaching degree, and we pretty much went to Korea right afterwards. Some of you might know the rest of our stories from here on out. We taught in public schools in Bucheon, and in our spare time, we made videos for our family in Canada to show them that things were okay here. Because at the time, 5 years ago, North Korea was threatening South Korea with a sea of fire. Does that sound familiar? After doing this for a couple years, we got the idea that maybe we could pursue YouTube videos as a career. It seemed doable. We didn't have a bajillion followers and we wouldn't be rich, but being wealthy doesn't matter to us. We just want to spend as much time together as possible. Being teachers means that you got to be separated every day, and that sucks. Doing website stuff though, full time, is a dream job for us. We get to play around with each other every day. We get to be creative. And as an awesome bonus, we get to talk to you cool people online every day. You people in the comments, you like-minded people who are fascinated by Korea or Korean music, people that want to travel and explore, and people that are just looking to try something different. People like us. Where we're going from here though, we're not sure. At first I was a punk-ass kid that thought I'd go into the NBA, and then I was a depressed hermit that thought I'd be a professor, and now I'm a husband with a studio in Korea where I do interviews with K-pop people and I make silly videos and stuff. So is there a moral to the story? I'm not sure. Never take your partner for granted. Move somewhere else and experience something new. Where you end isn't where you begin. Things change. Things get worse. Things get better. And above all, it is, in fact, possible to get out of the friend zone. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to know more about our cheesy, sappy love story, here's a video about how I proposed to Martina, and also here's a video about what our wedding was like. If you didn't check those out, please do so now. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos where we draw stuff. No, we don't draw a lot of stuff. Not really.